Hi, this is a training on how to do a CSV report from the CSL Administrator site. So the first thing you would do is log in. So you will have been given a username and password to use here. I'm going to go ahead and log in with mine. The first thing you see when you log in is a whole bunch of little boxes here. None of these are what we're going to use. You actually go to Components and then go pull down to DT Register and click on that. The next thing you want to look at is CSV Export. You click on that. Now you have a choice here. You can select everything, or you can select just one or two things. What you'll notice is as you're going through here, there's quite a list, and there's no way to do a search or a selection. So what you have to do is look, and it's quite difficult. So I find it easier just to click on everything. So I click Check All. Now let's go to Next. All right, now depending on what you're doing, let's say this is an event. We'll say it's the movie night that we just did. Okay, so the start date for anybody that was registering for that movie night, let's go back say into early April, mid-April, just for kicks. And then you don't need an ending date. You would leave waiting, canceled, pending, and active done. And now I want you to come down here, and this is really important because there's a lot of fields to check or uncheck. Every time somebody goes in there, you're going to see the last selected criteria, which you may or may not need. For example, if it's the movie night, you're probably not going to need the event time. You won't need the number of members. You won't need the confirmation number or the transaction ID. So some of even the discount code, some of these are coming in and they're not necessary. So you unselect the ones you don't want. All right, and then you select the things you do want. If you want their information, their address, city, zip, email, and phone, you select it there. We are not using the group option anymore, so there's nothing you would need to select over on that side. If this is an event where there's childcare, you would select that one. So that's basically all you're going to need. The number of members you're going to be able to count up yourself because this is about to go to a spreadsheet. Okay, so once you have your selection picked, then you go Create Export. You then need to click on OK and wait. What comes up is a download. So you will click on this and Excel opens up. Now let me show you how I configure Excel. I click in this box here and then I double click in any of these columns and that opens up the entire column. Okay, so what you're going to see here is the registration dates and then the names, when the event is, the amount, which is the amount of the event itself, how it was paid for, if that's important to you. Like notice here's an e-check as opposed to the rest, which are credit card payments. Whether or not it's paid incomplete, because that's important in classes a lot of times, not for events. And then the amount the person paid. Notice how it has all of this information like the title. I don't need that. First name, last name, their contact information. Okay, and I'm going to go back because I don't need a lot of this. I'm not going to need to know what day they registered. I'm not even going to need the date of the event. I don't need to know when the amount, the total amount, the payment type, or the payment status. What I need to know is how much money did they give me and who are they? All right, so now I've deleted those columns. By the way, the other thing I like to do is I like to see lines. So I select everything and I come up here to the little border box and I click on all borders. That way I can see things. At this point, I'm going to want to sort by the type of event it is. So I click again on all. I go to Data, Sort. Notice that mine has an event header. So I'm going to click on Header. And then I want to sort by event name and click OK. So what comes up here is the movie night. Let's delete all this other stuff because that's not important right now. What we want to know is how many people registered for the movie night. Now we can double click that to close it up. We can see that everybody paid $5, and these are who the people were. Okay, so you have their name, first name, last name, address, city, zip, email, and phone, and how much they paid. Now you're going to want to print this, right? What I'm going to do to make it show up all on one page is this. I'm going to select my print range. I'm going to go up here and click on Set Print Area. Then I'm going to double check my orientation, which is landscape. I can even change my margins, and a lot of times I like to use narrow margins because it's just easier for me. Okay, so now I can go look at what this is going to look at in this version of Excel by going to Print, and you can see this is what it's going to look like. Okay, then you can send it to your printer, and it'll be there for the volunteer that's going to be checking in people at the movies, for example. Now, if you want to save this information, you just save it as whatever you want it to be. You will notice that CSV is comma delimited. It doesn't have a lot of features. So if you don't care, you can keep it in that format, or you can say, no, I would rather have it be in a spreadsheet. So then you tell it where you want it to go, and then you would click on the type and see all the different types, but let's go to Excel Workbook, and then you put in your title of this is a happy movie, and then you would save it. All right, great. So that's how you use the CSV export utility.